That 8-minute drive, how did it come together? Your thoughts on looking at it, and that essentially won you guys the football game.
We were just fighting for survival. I was thinking we needed to score a touchdown. So, we didn't, until we got across to 50, we weren't even really thinking that much about the clock with that, just the way that game had gone. We'd been up, we'd been down. So I was thinking we needed to get points. With a 5-point lead, I was thinking we could at least make it to the 35-yard line. That's roughly the line we're shooting for field goal range. And so that you don't ever start off with 8 minutes thinking you're going to kill it. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
How impressive was that, though, to be able to do that and not give it back?
Yeah, again, the way we finished getting down the 75-yard touchdown drive and then the 8-minute one at the end, you're not thinking of it like that in the game. You're just thinking of what do we need to do to get the lead or to get, above a one-score game. And, credit, we made the plays we needed to make. That wasn't always the prettiest execution by us on offense. They have a good defense, number one, but we made the plays we needed to make.
Closing it out with a fourth down conversion, your fourth of the game. Just how much confidence do you have in that unit to convert those, and what goes into just kind of deciding when to go for it and when to kick?
Well, Coach D, that's Coach D. Coach D's, he's working his analytics, and him and Dimitri got their Encyclopedia Britannica book out there that they're looking in. We go over all those situations, and Coach D's been doing a great job of letting me know at the start of a drive, mid-drive. He's always telling me what the go number is. So, I'll be honest, I'm scared to death every time it's fourth down, but that's football. That's what we live in these days. It's an analytics world, and Coach D's handling it great.
Is that mostly his call, or do you kind of chime in?
No, that's his call all the way. Yeah.
Knock on wood for you there, but you guys have converted 9 in a row on fourth down. Like, what does it take to have that consistent success at such a high pressure down?
Well, I'd say in this last game we needed to be better on third down. We had our worst third down game. Again, credit UNLV's defense for that. The other thing is we were behind the chains a lot. We had more third and longs. The way we break it up, third and short, third and medium, third and long, third and extra long. We were in third and long and third and extra long the most we have been all year. And the longer it gets, the lower your percentage of converting. We got behind on a couple penalties in the first half. We had a couple of procedural penalties. So let's start it with not getting behind the chains. Let's not get in third and long. If we do, the fourth and short is the new third and short in the analytic world. Once you get to that thing, and that's that point on the book. And I'm happier when we're not in that situation.
Maddox has been, you look at his numbers on fourth down, he literally has been nearly perfect. What is about him on fourth down? And then he jokingly said after the game when you first saw him that he didn't know. He said that you didn't know whether to hug him or punch him at times. So your dynamic.
Yeah, he shouldn't be sharing that stuff. I say some crazy things to Mad Dog sometimes, and he shouldn't be telling everybody that. But Mad Dog has a unique ability to make the play that needs to be made at the right time. I have very high expectations of that kid. I have a very high standard for that kid. So he still hasn't played his best. He's going to play better. I know he will. But he played pretty good at times. He makes plays you don't expect him to make. Like, we didn't have it dialed up for him to go on the 40-yard run to set up the first field goal. We didn't have it dialed up for him to run the 8-yard touchdown in on third down. Those are plays he's making above and beyond the call of duty. So we trust that guy a lot. We trust him to make the right decisions at the right time. And in this particular game, he did that.
When Maddox said that, I had a little Bart Hendricks flashbacks. And he ended up being the 2-time conference player of the year. So how would you describe your relationship with Maddox?
I trust him a lot. He's sharp. Like, I can talk to him the same way that we talk in the offensive staff room with the coaches. I talk to him like I talk to the coaches. And Mad Dog's one of those guys that you can tell him something once, and he not only he gets it, but he remembers it at the right time, because we only get these guys a certain amount of time during the week, and there's a lot of what ifs every week. Like, what if they're in this? What if they're in base defense? What if they're in nickel defense? What if it's a blitz look? There's a lot of what ifs, and we can only practice so much stuff, so we have to cover a fair amount of it in meeting time, and he sees stuff on tape, he can retain it. He hears stuff in meetings, he can retain it, and then not only retain it, but then the ability to make the play when we need it.
What do you
Just
see?
with all of the analytics in the game nowadays? It's analytics are telling you to go from fourth or not go for fourth. Do you like that, or do you prefer just going with your gut? And
I've come to like it more. I used to hate it. I hate it that you guys know all about it now, because then everybody says, well, the book said, and the announcers say it, you guys say it. Like, if you guys knew what the book really said, the book is scary, man. The book is like, you hit the 50 and it's like, go for it on 4th and 12. And I'm going, 4th and 12? You got like about a 15% chance to get that. So I just think the days of doing it by the gut are pretty much over. And that's why Coach D's the head coach and the right guy for the job.
we're saying that, Coach D, he's only coached 11 games. Just what's it been like for you working with a new head coach?
Oh, he doesn't, he doesn't act like a new head coach. I mean, he's got a good handle on it. I've told you guys before, he's the right guy for the right time for how college football is. And I mean, he handles himself great. So I had no problem with that at all.
Madsen not taking sacks. How important is that in terms of not getting behind the chains and things?
Yeah. Let me put that in perspective. There's some crazy numbers out there. Our first offense in however many games we played, we have 4 sacks with our first offense. Our defense has 36 sacks. 4 against 36. That's crazy. San Diego State this week, number 3 in the nation, 28 sacks. We've given up 4 sacks. Now, our O-line does a good job. Ashton Genty, any NFL scout that was worried about his pass pro, turn on that last film because he pass pro'd his tail off. Our tight ends, everybody's involved in pass pro, but we would have way more sacks if Mad Dog wasn't doing such a good job getting the ball out, deciding when to run. 2 of those 4 sacks were 1-yard losses that he started running up in the pocket and he just, he got caught. So the 1-yard 2nd and 11 versus the 10-yard 2nd and 20, those make a huge difference in being behind the chains.
I know you had some penalties in that game, but for the most part, you guys don't have very many negative plays. How does that? It's common sense, I guess. But when you're not in 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13,
it's
very
huge.
often.
No, it's huge, and you're right. We don't have very many. We don't have very many penalties. So when we do, we had 2 holds and 2 procedures. We'll take the aggressive holds. We'll take those over procedural, and but even on some of our holds that we've got this year, like we tell our guys, you got to know when to let go. 'Cause there's holding every play, right? You got to know when to let go. But we are doing a good job of that, and we need to keep that up. I mean, every offense, you're playing to your strengths. You're hiding your weaknesses. We have weaknesses. We have strengths. We all know what those are. We have weaknesses. We try to hide our weaknesses.
What kind of a test will Trey White be for that line? Obviously the nation leader in sacking. What do you see that he does that gets?
He's relentless. Like he doesn't miss the ones he should get. Right. The ones that he should get, he gets, and he gives. Now that anybody, when they get to this point in the season, he has relentless effort. I mean, he knows when it's 2nd and 10. Guess what? They're probably going to pass. On 3rd down, they get into some crazy fronts. They move him all over the place, and they try to get him isolated. They do a very nice job of that in their 3rd down package. I think this guy, he's obviously explosive, and he's strong. He's fast, but I'd say just a number 1 word for him is relentless.
Give us a little perspective on what UNLV, how focused they were on Ashton.
Yeah, they were, but so was everybody. Hawaii was the week before that. I mean, that obviously, if you're playing us, that's the focal point for sure, and that's why we have to continue to improve our passing game. We have to continue to improve being able to hit our shots off of our run fakes. We have to stay ahead of the chains so we can stay in the run play action world. Like we're not built to be a 30-time drop back team. We're not like they are in the NFL. I watch. We get all these NFL cut-ups every week, and when I get towards the end of the week, there's hardly any play action in the NFL anymore. And again, they're paying these. We talked about this before. They're paying these quarterbacks $50-60 million. They're paying them to drop back and throw out of the pocket. We're not built that way. That's not the way. That doesn't give us the best chance to win. I'm not saying we can't do it, and there's going to come a time where we're going to have to do it. That's just not our best chance.
So so often how impressive Ashton is because he's got 259 yards, but how impressive were those 128 he had on 33 carries?
Yeah, no, we're all spoiled on, I think I counted either 6 or 7 runs where that last guy barely got him. And credit their 2 safeties. Their 2 safeties both did a good job of tackling 1 and 3 for UNLV. But the last guy got him. And then there was one time when Ash just fell down in the hole. You never see that. The turf monster got him that one. I mean, he was out the gate. That was going to be a 70-yard run, blocked perfect, and Ashton just tripped on the turf. That never happens. And then they got him. That last guy got him. So, this is, I think, the first game that he didn't have a 50-yard run, but there was 6 or 7 of them that were going to be 50-yard runs. And I got a feeling we're going to see him again sometime. I don't think we've seen the last one.
Ashton is so good up the middle where he gets a majority of his yards, but he's also got a lot of speed. Is there any temptation to get him on the outside and do more with that?
Yeah, there's a temptation to do a lot of things, but some of that's defensive structure. Some of that's how we get our blockers in position. What most teams are doing to us right now is they're kind of trying to squeeze us from the outside in. All right, so we're seeing edge pressure, wide ends, trying to squeeze us down. That makes it a little tougher. We tried to get our screen game going. We haven't done a great job of that. That's something that we need to continue to develop. You saw, we finally got to it in the second half where we just free released him into the flat. He had to make a pretty good catch on that. I think we got a 6-7 yard gain. But there's other things you can do, but we're doing what we do.
So does that mean, like, what you're saying is, because obviously if you don't set the edge against Genty, it doesn't even matter where you are on the field. He's gone. Like, are they doing more to try to set the edge where they're giving you more options up the middle, or you're just taking what they're giving?
Well, I
you
wouldn't say more options, because what they're trying to funnel us in to their safeties and or linebackers getting off blocks. I mean, on most plays we're trying to account for everybody except the corners, right? You can only block so many guys. They got one more than us because of the quarterback. We're not an option team. So we believe in making the corners tackle. So we're trying to get it where we can get to their safeties. They're trying to get it where they make us where we can't get to their safeties, and their safeties and their linebackers can get more involved. I mean, obviously, every run play, you're accounting for the linebackers. Not all run plays are you accounting for both safeties.
You back, I feel like probably the pivotal moment of that game was with, a little over 2 minutes to go in the first half, and you guys got a 4th and short, and instead of kicking another field goal, you guys go for it and get it, and Matt Lauder makes a great catch. How crucial were those last 2 minutes? Because if you guys don't get that, UNLV gets the ball there, and they get the ball to start the second half. And I think it looked very different. Yeah,
that was a big turnaround there. That touchdown followed by the turnover, and so when Coach D had told us we were going to go, we were under 2 minutes. We wanted to think. We were trying to decide between 3 different plays on that 4th down call, and I got to give Matt Miller credit. Matt Miller is the one that spoke up. I said, "Do we want this? Do we want this? Or do we want this?" It was 2 passes and a run, and usually when I say something like that on the headsets, it's dead silent. Nobody says anything. But Matt Miller, he jumped in there and he made the call, and it was the right one. And that play didn't work one time against the Scouts last week. It didn't work one time like we thought it would. Our scout team covered it up, and then they bit the run fake, and Lauder was wide open in the back. Just like you draw it up.